Okay guys, I realized after the first video that I left off some of the kinds of examples that you might consider a little bit more difficult, so I decided I would do a couple of extra examples here. There are a few specifically that are kind of difficult, so you want to pay attention to those. This one right here is going to be difficult, somewhat difficult, and this one right here is going to be a little bit tricky as well. Okay, so make sure you stick around and watch those. Alright, so to get started, we'll do another one where we round to the nearest whole number. I've got 47.703 to the nearest whole number. Keep in mind, knowing what these things mean is probably going to be the hardest part for some of you. Nearest whole number means I don't want any decimals, so I want to get rid of all of these. This is my whole number. That is where I'm rounding to. So this number is either going to stay the same or it is going to go up. Only two options, stay the same or go up. And it always depends on the number to the right. Now in this case we have a 7. Any number that is 5 or more makes this one go up. So the next number up from 7 would be an 8. This one becomes an 8. Everything on this side, you just bring it down. And then everything on this side actually becomes a 0. All of those become zeros. You don't need those zeros. I would just write 48. So 47.703 rounded to the nearest whole number is 48. Okay, take a look at example 2. This one's one that I would consider a little bit tricky. Nearest hundredth, we want to round 6.997 to the nearest hundredth. Again, knowing that that means 2 decimal places is what's going to get some of you guys. 2 decimal places. 1, 2. This number is either going to stay the same or go up. Stay the same or go up, based on the number to the right of it. Again, we have a 7. A 7 is bigger than 5, meaning this number goes up. Well, what's the next number up after 9? 10. I can't fit 10 here because that's 2 digits in the place of 1, so instead we're going to put 10 like this, 1, 0, 10. And then now you add these here, 9 and 1 makes 10 again. So again, you can't put 10 in this place. So you're going to do the same thing that you just did, 10. And then now you add these as well. 6 and 1 makes 7, meaning this rounds up to 7. Even though we rounded to the nearest hundredth means 2 decimal places. In this case, because they're both zeros, we don't need those. We can just write this as 7. You can write it as 7.00 or just 7. Alright, example 3. I want to round 2.1145 to the nearest hundredth again. Hundredth is 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Does the 1 need to stay the same or go up? Stay the same or go up. Depends on this number right here. Now, some people get confused and they say, okay, this number makes this one go up, which would then... Don't look that far ahead. You only look to the number to the right, directly to the right, this 4. If you are at a 4 or less, that means this number stays the same, stays a 1. You bring down all of your numbers on this side. These become zeros. You drop those, and it's just 2.11. When you get finished, if you are rounding to the nearest hundredth, usually you have two numbers after the decimal place. Like up here, we just didn't need those because they were zeros. Usually you'll have 2 numbers left. Alright, example 4, this is another one that's somewhat tricky. I have 0.9996 and I want to round to the nearest thousandth. Thousandth means 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This number is either going to stay the same or go up. Because the number to the right is a 6, anything that is 5 or more means we go up here. The next number up from 9 would be a 10. When this happens, 10. We add here, that again gives us 10. We add here, again we get 10. And then this time when we add 1 to 0, we get 1. So, thousandth means 3 decimal places, which is what I have. Because they're all zeros, I don't need them. I can just drop it and call it 1. Alright, a few more here. Example 5. I want to round to the nearest tenth. Tenth is 1 decimal place. Now, does this stay the same or go up? The number to the right is a 0. That's obviously 4 or less. So this stays the same. And then you write all the numbers over there. I don't technically need this. You can write it as 12.0 or you could write it as 12. It's up to you. But tenth means 1 decimal place, and that's what we have. All right, a couple more. Example 6, 9.294. I want to round this one to the nearest whole number. That means no decimals. So here, I'm looking at 9. Does it stay the same or does it go up? Because this is a 2. That is 4 or less, 2. This stays the same. Everything else becomes zeros. Just write it as 9. All right, and one last one here, if we can fit this in the camera. 1.145, I want to round to the nearest tenth. So, tenth is 1 decimal place. The number to the right is a 4. 4 or less, we stay the same. And then you just bring down the rest of your numbers. These become zeros, don't necessarily have to write them. And I'm finished. 1.1 is rounded to the nearest tenth. Alright guys, if y'all have any questions or any of them seem to stump you, please, please, please ask me questions. Send me questions in the email or you can send me videos, whatever you need to do. Alright, see y'all later.